Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? Well, figured we took a look at the bass guitars that hang on my wall, so we might as well take a look at the amplifiers and check these things out for anybody that really cares. This is kind of what I have now. In the past, I've had a PV Mark IV head and 215D cabinet. They were monsters. They sounded great, but I got rid of them because they were huge, and I used those back in the 80s. And I had an SWR 410 cabinet. And an Eden 210 XLT cabinet at one time, actually, and I think an Aguilar GS 112, all great stuff. But I moved on from those. And anyhow, so what do I have now? What am I actually using? These bag end cabinets. There's a cat as well. These bag end cabinets, they figure prominently in my early videos. So I've had these for a very long time. I think maybe I need to call them up. I think I've had a couple of these for almost 25 years. So I've got two S15 cabinets and two S12 cabinets. So pretty cool stuff. Those are just loud and proud and great speaker cabinets. I've also got this nice little Bareface cabinet, this 16-pound thing that I think you probably saw me unbox. And unfortunately, there was distortion, not from the cabinet, but from the microphone itself. But what else? What else do we have here? Well, I've had this SWR electric blue head for, man, probably since 1992. I bought it used for like $300. I think it's part of the series made in the 80s, so I don't think it was made in 1990, but it's probably a little bit older than that, maybe 90. But it's part of the old original SWR engineering series of heads. It's a great sounding amplifier. It doesn't have a lot of watts, like 150 watts into 4 ohms. So very often I use it as a preamp when I played louder gigs, and so I did that for years off and on. Pretty cool little amplifier. Has a lot of extras that a lot of the other SWR amps didn't have, but it has the SWR tone, and it is what it is. Got this Avalon U5 a while ago. I've wanted one for a long time. Great direct box, and not sure how much I'm going to use it out because it's heavy. It sounds phenomenal, but not sure how much I'm going to actually use it out. Maybe every once in a while. But very, very cool unit. Great sound, great tones. You can there's like a 6-tone position switch or 6-position switch for tone if you want to use the tones. But you plug in, this thing sounds mammoth and wonderful and great. This right here is one of my favorite preamps of all time, the Demeter 201S. I had an original Demeter 201, the space and a half unit, and during the dark time, when I had to sell a bunch of stuff, I sold that, and I really wish I hadn't. This thing sounds almost as good, probably just as good, maybe a little teeny bit different, maybe a little bit brighter. And you might have seen me unbox this Super Filter. This is something I will never get rid of because they're so rare. I had one and I got rid of it. Had an F1X preamp, which I'd like to get another one, but I'm not sure how much I would really use it. But this is just such an unbelievable tone processor, and I will have to actually post some video of sound, some audio. But I spent a lot of money on bass guitar stuff and RPG stuff, so I don't really have a lot of money to spend on some great computer audio stuff. But anyhow, and this is just a basic old PLX, QSC PLX, one of the smaller power amplifiers. But it was loud enough for my needs with these cabinets. I usually bring a 12 and a 15 to a gig, sometimes all 4 if I really wanted to. Plenty loud, and I played outside and all kinds of stuff. Only one problem with this rack, which sounds wonderful, is it's 45 pounds. And for a while I kind of followed what was going on with lighter weight amps and D-class technology and all this kind of stuff. So I did some research and talked to some people, and I settled on these Mesa amplifiers. These are all D-class amplifiers in their Subway series, the D800 Plus and the WD800 and the TT800. Why did you get 3 of them, Ivan? Well, they all sound different, and they all sound freaking awesome. They're all 800 watts. They're all just as loud as that. They all sound just as good as that, different, but just as good. And they range, I think, from like 5.5 to 7 pounds, 45 pounds. I don't know, as good as this sounds, if I'm going to take this out again ever on a gig, which is sad, but I can pick these things up in one hand and walk around and laugh. And they come with little bags. I can sling them over my shoulder, and they sound great. And at some point, I'll show you what they sound like. But these are the amplifiers that I have. I am kind of intrigued at looking at the Mesa cabinets because they have a great series of Subway cabinets, which are lighter weight. They're not the lightest weight cabinets in the world, like the Bareface are, but I'm intrigued. And these bag ends, they sound wonderful. I've had them forever. They are a little heavy. They are small. They are modular. They're a little heavy for their size, which is okay. Not a big deal. They're built like tanks. Look at these things. I've had them for, decades. These things are veterans of a lot of gigs. But 7 pounds, 45 pounds. And want a really cool practice amp, you take one of these things out with this bare face, which weighs about 16 pounds, and you go someplace, and that's a little teeny, really impressive, very loud rig, for its size. Cool stuff. Anyhow, not sure how many of you people really care, but that's the amplifiers.